Today's episode is generously sponsored by Squarespace. Welcome friends, welcome back to Sunday Morning in the Old Cookbook Show. We're going to do another recipe this week out of the Five Roses Cookbook, published in 1915. And we're going to do a cake called the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. Because there's a cup of butter, there's 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, and 4 eggs. And then it sort of falls apart because there's a bunch of other stuff that it just isn't accounted for. So we're going to start out by creaming our butter. I've got the stand mixer here. We're going to put it in, and we're just going to turn this on and soften it up. While the butter's softening, we'll deal with the flour. So I have flour and I have baking soda and cream of tartar. Now I find it very interesting that this cookbook, 1915, it favors baking soda and cream of tartar instead of using baking powder. And I'm not really sure why that is. I know that baking powder was around already. It was already in use. It wasn't something that was new. Maybe the people at the Five Roses Test Kitchen felt that the combination of soda and cream of tartar gave a better effect. If you do have an idea on that, please put it down in the description. Now I've mixed that in, and you don't have to mix it in really well. We're using a stand mixer, and the stand mixer is going to do the job better than a wooden spoon. So the whole mixing it into the flour isn't as critical. And there's lots of recipes where the baking soda would just be tossed in on its own without even mixing it into the flour, so it's not critical. What is critical though is you should wipe down the sides of the bowl of your mixer. Even if you have one of these dashers with the rubber on it, scrape down your bowl, it's critical. So we'll put this back on, and now we stick in the white sugar and we cream the sugar and the butter together. Once the butter and the sugar are nicely creamed together, put in our eggs one at a time and wait for each one to be fully incorporated before adding the next. And I put them in one at a time because I find if I put all of the eggs in at once, the batter gets too kind of loose and they don't mix in nicely. And it really doesn't take too long for one to fully mix in before you can add the next one. And I found that if you fire them all in at once, the mixture gets gloopy, and then you have to keep mixing it to try to mix them in. It actually takes longer than just waiting. What was that? 25, 30 seconds, and then you put the next one in. But of course, if you want to fire them in all at once, go right ahead. I don't think it affects the end cake. Now the recipe says a cup of water or milk. I'm going to go with milk because I have it. But I can imagine during wartime, a cup of water would have been easier to get. I don't know if rationing had started in 1915. I should look that up. So you need some vanilla. So I'm going to put the vanilla in the milk just to make it easier for the next step. Great. Now, I'm going to alternate between the flour and the milk a little bit at a time. Put in some of the flour, wait for it to fully incorporate, and then add some milk. Go back and forth 4, 5 times. Now the directions don't give me much information about baking, but they do say that the addition of raisins makes for pleasing variety. So I'm going to put in some raisins. I've also got some candied peel hanging around, and I'm thinking this is a pretty plain white cake batter. Let's throw in some peel just to add some color and some extra flavor. So put that in as well. Just give it a stir. Stir these in completely. Now I've got the oven preheated at 350 degrees, and I've got a 9x9 cake pan here with a parchment sling just to make it easier to get the cake out. So this might have needed a bigger pan, but we'll stick it in the oven and see what happens. So just smooth out the top. Pretty tasty. Sweet, very sweet. That's gonna be a good cake. This episode of Glenn and Friends was made possible with the generous support of Squarespace. Squarespace gives you a powerful and beautiful online platform to create your own website, blog, or online store. You can choose from tons of award-winning templates. Our own website is built on Squarespace. maybe you've seen it. And if you don't have a domain, don't worry. You can buy one directly from Squarespace and get started right away. So go to squarespace.com/Glenn and Friends Cooking for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Thanks, Squarespace. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Glenn. Hey, friends.
So this is called the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. And I was going to sing the song.
No.
But you can't sing that song because YouTube will claim it. I'll get a copyright strike because you're not even allowed to hum the song.
Which will be where I'll get in trouble, right?
I know. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake.
I could make up my own song.
We could, but it's not. Who has time? You get the corner.
Thank you. Oh, it's got fruit in it, too. 4 pieces of fruit? 3 pieces of...
Oh, I could do that Sesame Street.
1 stick of butter?
Yeah. No, so it's 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, 4 eggs, and then it goes off the rails because there's other stuff in it.
So it's close.
It's close. And then it says at the end, raisins makes a pleasing variety. So
you threw some in.
So I threw some in, and I had some peel hanging around because I was using peel for other stuff, so I put some of that in too.
So you went off-piste.
It's
It's a pretty nice cake. It's just butter and egg, right?
So this is a great butter cake. This is a great vanilla butter cake. Like this really is. If you were looking for a cake to do a layer cake with some really nice icing or frosting,
You could probably start with this.
this would be a great base to work from. And there's enough here to do 2 layers of round cake pan, definitely. At the same time, if you're looking for a really tasty tea cake with some fruit in it, this is good too.
You could add dates.
You could add dates. Well, and so it says vanilla, and I put vanilla in it, but you could put lemon or orange or...
A little peel, like a little
yeah, or extract, or extract.
extract, or what am I thinking of? The outside, the rind.
Zest.
Zest. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, zest.
So that's a great cake. Doesn't make it to the next edition.
I wonder what the criteria was. Was it just out of fashion? I mean, it's a good cake. It's not like it's a crummy recipe.
Well, this one is really a cross Canada community cookbook. Like these are submitted recipes. By the time you get to the next edition,
They're curated.
5 Roses has completely curated it. They have tested everything and they've made changes. So there's a lot of stuff in this one that just doesn't move forward, but it's still really
People
good.
tend not to send you their worst recipe.
No. So conclusions on this one. It's a great cake.
There you go. More cake.
It really is a great cake.
You've got choices.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.